Real Music exclusive.
I grew up like a savage.
One, two, 1, 2. You now rocking with the No Vultures podcast. You got me, myself, Lord Rab. You got OG Clee going on a vacation. The vacation is counting down. The vacation countdown, man. Y'all gonna look up and he gonna be on camera, man. Free OG Clee, man. And today, we got a regular but a very special guest. As you can see, we coming live and direct from the headquarters of the era. You know what I'm saying? A landmark in Oakland, somewhere that you gotta visit, a must stop in Oakland if you come by. Today, we got none other than, you see the legendary face, man. I could give a long introduction, but y'all already know, man. We got Fabby motherfucking Davis, Mistah FAB, Stanley motherfucking Cox on No Vultures again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's long overdue.
Man.
We interview each other every day, man. You know, on
Every
phone calls and have conversations. But great time to just check in, top of the year, and talk about a few things that we got going on.
Absolutely. Man, you know what? I got to start with the obvious. The key to the city. Everybody talked about it. A lot of people can't believe it. You know, this is not a everyday occurrence for people. People just don't get keys to the city. You know, and in Oakland, we find that marginalization a lot, you know, even though we come from where we come from, the history of our people. And but there's a big difference between certain, you know, demographics in the city. Mm-hmm. From you coming where you come from, right? Starting where you started, from playing tag and watching the D-boys outside, from going to elementary school, walking home, probably rapping, hooping, getting to this point and getting the key to the city. What was that process and how did it feel?
You know, sometimes, Rab, man, when you sit back and you look at things and you be like, man, this really happening. You know, I sit back and I think of the times being in a room with my dream boards and the things that were on the dream board. You know, it was always the cars, the jewelry, the chains, the clothes, the women. But some of the other things that were on the dream board to me were a Pulitzer Prize, a Nobel Peace Prize. These are things that I always aspired to go after. You know, those were the things that it was important to me. I didn't know anybody who won a Nobel Peace Prize personally.
Right.
You know, and up until my brother Kendrick, I never even thought that an artist would be able to get a Pulitzer.
Man.
Keys to the City and things like that. Man, I grew up idolizing Hammer, man. I grew up idolizing, you know, that dude just based off what he did for the city. People talk about Hammer like, oh man, Hammer went broke, yeah. They just don't understand finance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
They don't understand finance, but I asked Hammer one day, Unc, if you could do it again, would you do it again? He said, of course. He said, in God's eyes, I would never regret the lives I saved and the lives I changed. And if my sacrifice was popularity and some money, you asking me, would I sacrifice money and popularity to save lives? He said, anytime. So them was my heroes, man. Like that was my hero growing up, man. And to fast forward and answer the question, man, a key to the city just let me know that I'm on the right track to doing. You know, we all want to be heroes, and, you know, sometimes we become villainized when we don't live up to those expectations from others. But, man, it's a blessing. And if you ask me what door does the key open up, I say I don't know.
Yeah.
But if I was able to give you a explanation on the feeling, it's letting every young dreamer out there know that positivity and consistency comes with rewards as well.
Absolutely. You know, it's I'm big on moments, right? And I'm big on symbolism, right? things that happen in history that we reflect on, right? But I like to live in the moment. I like to relish in the exact time, like we here now, right? So as I'm sitting there watching you receive it, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, but the vibe I got was like, I love this. I'm happy that I got this, but it's still symbolism. This is me every day. You would have to give me one of these every day to truly understand who I am, right? And immediately, as soon as you got it, you gave it to sis. What was that about?
Well, my sister has been there hand and feet since the beginning. Mm-hmm. When we think of why we're rewarded, a reward like a key to the city is through the philanthropy, the charity, the community activism. And a lot of those things wouldn't be possible because my sister spearheads those things. I am the face and the voice that people rally behind, and they adhere to the request of me putting those in the atmosphere. But my sister does the wearing and tear behind the work. And she was just as deserving if this is what we're receiving an award for community work and the upliftment of our people. She plays a significant role in that. And henceforth you see me give that to her. And being aware and wanting her to know that I don't receive this award if you don't do the work that you do. So I want you to feel accomplished and awarded as well.
That's dope, man. I respect that. When I seen it and she was in tears and, you know, she was just full of joy, you could tell it's like, we doing this shit, you know, like, and we doing it for the people, our people. What makes me think of this is, when I'm thinking of this moment, I'm also thinking of something that come to mind is, how do you balance, right? Because I don't think there's a more perfect example outside, not just in Oakland, in our community. I'm talking about the black community in its entirety. I don't think there's a more perfect example of balance, right? So the balance that you display, what I mean by is, it's not preachy, right? You get up every day and give us all lessons, everybody, right? But you live your life, Fab. You might see Fab throwing some dollar bills on some ass.
For sure.
Right? And so explain that dynamic of how it doesn't have to be one way, right? Because you would think like, well, Fab, you can't be at a strip club and preaching to the community. But that's not true, but that's how we've always thought. So just explain that dynamic of being positive and still maintaining your level of fun.
Positivity doesn't come with a manuscript of you have to be a prophet.
Right.
I don't want a person to see me being optimistic and positive about my look on life and confuse that for, oh, I'm the perfect model citizen. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying whatever you're going through in life, keep a positive perspective. Because there are things that are meant to destroy you and will destroy you. In Angela Davis' book, Freedom is a Constant Struggle, she talks about the significance of intersectional solidarity. And what that means is we're going to meet people where we meet them at. And that's where our solidarity begins to spawn in our ideas, in our forward progress, and whatever it is that it may be. You might catch me at church on Sunday, and then I might be in Magic City on Monday. That's not a contradiction. Not at all. That's someone that is embracing their duality and showing a group of kids to say, hey, I'm not telling y'all to go be perfect. I'm not telling y'all to go be prophets. I'm not telling y'all to proclaim that you're sin-free.
Right.
I'm telling you to go live your life and enjoy it to the fullest. And through anything that's negative that comes your way, always put a positive spin to it. It's how you look at the cup. Is it half full? Is it half empty? I just try to paint a little positivity in my perspective.
I think about that, right? And I think about the way you exhibit your positivity, right? Even in negative experiences, right? I've seen you literally be attacked. And I've seen you literally embrace them same people immediately. Like no real time in between. Like if they ready to be okay, you straight with it, right? How do you, coming from where we come from and knowing what we've been taught, is that self-taught, or like what did you pick up that skill set from of being able to be like maintain your positivity even when the negative is pushing at you?
You have to learn, man, mannerisms and your maneuverability, if that's not a word, y'all know what I mean, how to move in the areas we come from. You know what I'm saying? And people often confuse that just because you cool with something or that you're being cool, they like to put the context of, oh, you a sucker or you this or you that. Nah. It's just certain way I'm not going to give you the benefit of, I'm not going to give you that. You know what I'm saying? And the key to happiness, man, is a bad memory. The key to happiness in life is to forget about all that, man. Listen, it's not life-threatening. It's not, it's no physical danger. There hasn't been anything done on that. I'm a man at the end of the day. I'm going to protect myself, and I'm going to act on every general standard and conduct of code and code of conduct as a man. And long as that's not being compromised, see, a man is understanding and a man is misunderstood. A man is forgiving. A man is forgetful. A man is stubborn. A man is easygoing. We have a multitude of things as men, and we just have to choose what category do we identify with.
Right.
And I always believe, as a firm believer, as long as I'm still in the code of conduct of a man, if I'm an understanding man, if I'm a forgiving man, if I'm a forgetful man, the main thing is still man.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's still man. Now, if that's ever compromised, then the chips fall where they lay, and those are the things that one has to live with, and I don't think I would be able to live with.
Are you able to, as much as you able to teach lessons, are you able to teach that? Because just for our community, when to each his own, and everybody will have their own measuring stick, but what can you say to the people about jumping the gun on that being, on their manhood being compromised? Like, what can you tell them? Because I believe that's what happens, right? Of course, you know, as in turning 40, you get this thing that opens up, this thing, right? Boom, where you start having this wisdom just crazy, right? So humanizing people, like, how do you say, hey, man, you know, you might be jumping the gun on what is going on with that situation. You know, this is what I do. Like, how do you do that?
I was watching the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan speak, and he said, who are you to condemn someone or write someone off when that person may eventually blossom into being better than you and me? And the ego of man is so strong that he feels that he has the last judgment on an individual, or that they can place the blunt trauma that they've been through in their life and mirror that in everyone else. I think not jumping the gun is also saying, let's see how this is going to play out. but I'm gonna stay firm on the decision that I've made to not interact or to not entertain, to give an open invite. And as men, we don't have to agree on everything. You may like the Raiders, I may like the Niners. But the common ground and the common denominator is we like football.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Which is the bigger
picture.
Right.
We like football. Now, are we going to kill each other over what team is better?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Are we going to fight each other over field position? We don't own the field. We just like football.
Yeah. You know, it's crazy that analogy applies to the interview I just did with Young Jr. And I like to point out the people that they point out as maybe the ones they believe can lead a certain group of individuals, whether right or wrong, right? I like to point out these guys in the positive shit that they say, right? And if you watch his page, you can hear the game, right? And I asked him that same thing, that diplomacy shit and wanting people to win. And he like, man, I want everybody to win because we all really just want to win. That's all it is. It ain't no big rocket science to this shit. We all just want to win, right? And it's back to what you saying is like, but you forget what you trying to win. Then you start trying to win the small wars. You know, the big thing is, like you said, we like football.
We like football.
That's our common thing. The small shit we can
debate about. We could talk about. We could have a misunderstanding about. We can have an agreement about.
Right.
But at the end of the day, is it worth putting ourselves in position to get taken away from the game that we love?
Crazy. Man, I hope y'all listen to this shit, man. It's some good game, man. Not in the negative vein, but more in the just like dealing with hardships and shit while we right here and how you handle those. Slick, right? Everybody's favorite guy, right? Everybody's friend. I seen you take that hard, right? Speak to your love for Slick, what he meant to everybody, and not just that, the overall for the people that don't know him, and in the wake of his passing, how he passed, and how our people should be, careful now, because we're not living in the same times. You know what I'm saying? For our queens, like the ladies out here, getting a drink from somebody ain't just getting a drink. For somebody that like to party, it ain't just party no more, because the party favors is tampered. So speak to that, just, how hard that loss was, and just because it was just, like it was out of nowhere, of course. This is not a sick friend that we have that's dying. It happened, right? So speak on that a little bit.
We're from a generation, so metaphorically, this may make sense to you. It may not make sense to some people that are from a younger generation, but I'll find something that they can relate to. If Dope Era was Cheers, the TV show Cheers, Slick was Norm. He was the hip hop Norm. He was the cool Norm. And Norm was a guy that was at the bar every day. Mm-hmm. He shot pool. He played darts. He have a drink.
Got the wisecracks.
Got the super wisecracks. He's a funny guy. He's a loving guy. Mm-hmm. He's irritating.
Yeah.
He's annoying, but he's passionate. And everybody knows your name. Everybody knew Slick. To those that got a chance to go to Slick's funeral or the night of the visual, you would have thought that Slick was a rapper, a dignitary or something. You would have thought that he was something more than just a man that worked at Kaiser for 26 years.
Right. He can't know all these people. No way.
How does this man know all of these people?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? How? And I think what hit me so close about Slick was, this is a dude that we talked almost every day. Whether it was just cause of what you doing, finna pull up. We played. If I show you my domino app on how many games we actually played,
Right.
you'll be like, hell no.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can honestly say that Slick was my friend. That was my friend. And that was my friend, man. That was a friend of mine, man. And it draws a lot of emotion because as men, sometimes we don't see our friends. Our friends will come to us and tell us, man, I'm hurting, bro. And we'll marginalize it. We'll minimize it. I'm hurting, bro. I'm going through something, bro. My mama died and I don't know how to take it. I'm going through these, and I'm not trying to put his life out there for the purposes of this interview, but I'm using this as for friends. We have to learn to see our friends and adhere to what they're telling us without telling us. Mm-hmm. And I think it's imperative, man, and it's pivotal that we learn to open up with each other, to begin to remove these layers. Because I'll tell you this, there's a friend out there of yours that you don't know is going through some things that he can't explain to you, that she can't explain to you. And they're exhibiting their hurt by exemplifying the actions of, they begin drug use and they drink a lot. Slick died of a fentanyl overdose. My childhood best friend from 5 years old yesterday just did 10 years in jail. Got out 2 weeks ago. Didn't see him. I haven't seen him in 11 years, 10 years. Died of a fentanyl overdose yesterday. The point that you made was, to the ladies out there, we live in a cutthroat world. And just for one night of passion, there's an individual out there that's willing to kill you, to slip a pill in your drink, to do something just for that. We have to do a better job of protecting ourselves, man.
Absolutely.
We have to do a better job of checking on our friends. We have to do a better job of having an honest relationship. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, as I'm getting older, this is the things that sit up, and now those things lay on my conscience. Because the omitted truth is still a lie. It's still some things in there that's, and you got to be held accountable for that. And sometimes we don't want to tell the whole truth because we might be embarrassed. Mm-hmm. We got to learn to let that embarrassment go out, because you got to look at what you putting on the line. Even if you embarrassed with telling, bro, I got a drug addiction. Bro, I got a sex addiction.
Right.
Bro, I got a, I got a money addiction. I have some addictions, and I got some things I need to work on. We got to be open with each other, bro, because the general statement of, how you doing? I'm good. That's a lie.
Or like you said earlier, when the signs is getting thrown out there in our languages, shut your suck ass.
Man, you square ass nigga.
Shut your, what the bitch got you?
Nigga, you stressed over the bitch, nigga?
Yeah.
Nigga, get over it, nigga.
Right. That shit, we got to like.
We minimize.
Right.
We come from so much toxic shit,
Man,
that we respond with toxicity in moments where we got to learn to get off that hype.
Shit is real, though.
Shit be real. When your nigga be like, nigga, I'm going through shit, man, I feel like popping a nigga.
Right.
I'm like, nigga, you tripping. And
Right.
then you see on the news, your nigga really popped the nigga. I'm like, whoa, this nigga was really tripping. We got to take each other serious.
Yeah, that's real.
We gotta take it. If you really value somebody that you rock with, Take them serious.
They all blue.
They all blue.
I'm just trying to stay racked up like you.
Put an 8 in a 1 and do magic. Tryna stretch hair on like elastic. Eco-friendly drug dealer, I don't waste no plastic. Use all 4 corners of that baggie. All I ever wanted was a bankroll. So I pull up on Champ before the bank close. Say no to stank hoes and stank clothes. No paramedic pimpin', nigga, we don't save hoes. Yeah, rest in peace to